All right. Here we go. Hello, YouTubes. We are going over the patch notes, my lords. Here we go, boys. Patch 2.5.0. We have 4 new maps, new Tenosia faction, and horses. Amazing. Alright, the Tenosian Invasion is coming. The biggest update yet for Chivalry 2. The Tenosian Invasion 2.5 brings warriors to a theater of war with the new Tenosian faction. 2 huge team objective maps, 2 team deathmatch maps, and much more. Ride to war on horseback with an all-new mounted combat system. And console players can now join players on all platforms with the new console server browser. Alright. Is that kind of deceiving right there? Because it's not really... I mean, they can, but they can only do the dual servers, right? It's not going to be a total cross-party platform kind of thing, like I would expect that to say, right? Unless they can choose any server in the console browser. But we still can't party with them, right? Anyways... This massive update celebrates the Steam release of Chivalry 2 and opens an exciting new chapter. It's cross-party. They can choose the same ones we can? Okay. But, like, I can't, like... Yeah. I can't, like, invite a console player into my party, though, right? Are you sure? I thought the cross-party was happening afterwards. Yeah, I think it's the next update, Wilco. Because the console server browser is just like what we have, but you can't, like, use the console server browser to go into a 64-man game. Well, you can, but they're usually empty, and they're not the official servers, right? Yeah, cross-party is the reinforced update, which is after this. Okay. Just wanted to get that clear for everybody. Let's see here. This massive update celebrates the Steam release of Civ 2 and opens an exciting chapter in the Civil War. Update highlights: Steam release, horses, new playable faction, 4 new maps, added achievements for PC players on Epic Games Store and Steam, console server browser, large amounts of combat balance and improvements, which we are most interested in since we just got to play the map. Alright. New faction, the Tunisia. The strange lands to the south have long hovered as a distant threat over the lands of Agatha. They are best known to Chivalry 2012 players as the target of a failed crusade that led to the death of the King of Argon I. Tenosia therefore played a key role in igniting the civil war between the Mason Order and the Agatha Knights. Okay, sick. So maybe that's why the Mason Order is, like, controlling certain things. Dude, Cal! Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the raid. Thank you. I hope you had a fun time playing Civ tonight. Sorry I killed you in the beta. Alright, let's continue. With this new faction, a variety of customization additions. When playing for Tenosia, expect visual and audio differences in armor, helmet, weapon skins, heraldry, new voices. Expect... horse combat. Spawning on horseback. Horses are currently only present in the new maps featured in this update. For the team objective match featuring horses, players will receive a prompt to join the Calvary, allowing them to spawn on a horse during the next wave of Calvary. These spawns are limited and players will be randomly selected. Horses can also be found on this map itself for players to mount. Okay, I only saw, let's see, on one of the maps, I only saw 1 horse, like, in the corner, and then there's another spot where there's, like, 2 or 3, but they were kind of, like, conspicuous. You kind of got to know where they're at, and people, I mean, right now, people are taking the horses so much, but I think at release, and after a while, I think horses will become more available, because some people aren't going to like them, and if they're hard to use... people might not want to spend the time mastering it, you know, which I think will happen. Let's see here. For team deathmatch maps featuring horses, players will be randomly selected to spawn with a horse upon death. Yeah, this was I always got the horse like way late in the match, and I was like, why are why am I not getting a horse here? Up to 12 active horses can be present at one time. Okay. Horse movement and attacks. Horses can kick opponents in front and behind them with jab and R3 on controller, with R on keyboard, F on keyboard, circle on PlayStation controller, and other inputs, blah, blah, blah. So this is actually a pretty fun thing. So here's the thing. I had a lot of fun with the kick, with the front kick. And I think, like, it gives you a lot of options. Like, the movement's kind of good. You can kind of go from side to side, which I'll show in another video in the gameplay. But the horse will go like this. That's my best horse impression. And you can kick people down, and it did about 60 damage. And you can, like, 2-hit people. So what you can do, I would kick, and then I would go past him, and then just slash him with my sword, or kick him again. But, like, to pull it off, it's kind of hard, because you're susceptible to other players coming when you're standing still with the horse there. Horses have various states of speed. Once a horse reaches a gallop after naturally increasing its running speed, the rider is able to knock over opponents similarly to how players get tackled on foot. Yep, and this did no damage that I saw. But if you're still at full sprint, they'll sometimes launch far enough where you can just kill them again afterwards. And I think you can only kill people by running over them if they're on the ground. That's what I noticed. So sometimes with the horse, you just plow through them, and then if they're in a straight line still, you'll just like run them over, right? As a horse builds up speed, the harder it will be to turn with the horse. Turning a horse involves looking where you want to go using your mouse/sticks. Using sprint inputs will cause the horse to reach a full gallop and build even more speed. Okay. Yeah, which is pressing shift. Weapons on horseback. Standard weapons can attack normally while on horseback. Yeah, and this is actually nice. It feels good, actually. Especially fighting other people on horses is pretty fun. As the rider moves, the weapon's damage output will multiply based on the horse's speed. All melee weapon-based attacks will receive this multiplier. Yep, and this is cool because it displays your multiplier when you hit, actually. So this is nice. A few weapons will have a different special attack. The Highlander sword low sweep will attack on the right side. So this attacks like a greatsword, I believe people were saying. I didn't try it. Two-handed spear, hard-hitting stab attack. The lance has couching. If you don't know what couching is, it is when you put your lance down into a pointed position instead of up. You couch it down for the charge, right? Some people don't know what couching means. Lance combat. Players will spawn with a lance in hand during a Calvary spawn wave. When a gallop is reached, attack inputs will turn into a focused, constantly active horizontal state known as couching. If aimed accurately, the rider will deal massive damage. Players can input a timed lunge for the next extra damage during this state. Oh shit, I didn't know that. I just pointed it, but can you like actually like thrust it afterwards? Yes? Oh, okay, I didn't know this. I didn't try this. Did you try it out, Wilco? How was it? Alright, couching will cause a player's stamina to drain over time. Yes. If there's not enough stamina, a normal stab attack will be used instead. The stamina drain is not too terrible. You can keep it couch. But yeah, I'm wondering, maybe you still have to have some stamina left over to do the extra timed lunge. Damn, I wish I knew that. I would have tried that more, because I felt like the lance definitely does some damage, but with that, I bet you it's just an instant one hit every time. The lance will break after 3 successful hits. The player's primary weapon will be drawn in its place. Yep. 3 bonks and it's gone. The Breach of Baudwyn team objective map. This map was probably one of my favorites, although I'm not sure about the last objective where it's just breaching that wall. It feels kind of empty afterwards. We breached the wall and it's just like, okay, you're successful, and it's like, Are we gonna invade? Is there anything else after? But the map is truly beautiful, and all these houses, these colored houses, allows for a lot of like flanking, and it kind of felt like being in the houses in the first, the very first part of the Aberfell map, where there's those cottages around. Felt kind of like that, but even a little bit more intense with the buildings and stuff. Very condensed alleyways, and it felt pretty realistic. Very fights that you'll run into a lot of 1vx, or you'll be ganking people a lot in these fights. So I suggest like finding teammates in this in this phase. So you break through this wall, and then in these houses here is like the second phase. The Breach of Baldwin, built by the Agathan commander of the same name during King Argon's rule and fall. The long-standing bulwark separates the lands of the north and south. No army has ever attempted to break through. Bringing with them firepower unheard of, the Tunisians breached the town's gates and markets in an attempt to blast through the bulwark with bombastic bombards, a demonstration of their engineering prowess. They also build better ramps, because the ramps actually work. Their ramps are better than anything else. Attackers must clear the following objectives. Objective 1, push the siege ramps to the walls, which is right here, like I was saying. Destroy the ballistas and catapults along the walls, here and here. Capture the market, which is what I was talking about before, with the 1v1s and kind of like alleyway kind of fighting. Take control of the town hall, which is this building here, which is honestly one of the funnest objectives I saw. It's kind of cool. I don't know. It's like capture. It's like in Lion Spire, where you got to control the point. It's similar to that, but it's like enclosed in a building. It was fun. I don't know. It's pretty cool. And then push the bombards and fire them at the bulwark. So that's that last phase I was talking about, where you got to destroy this giant ass wall, dude. Tenosha. Yeah, it could be Tenosha, Tunisia. I'm still bad at pronouncing it. Okay. This map will also feature cavalry waves during certain objectives. The Rising of Askandir. This map was also incredibly beautiful and cool. Reacting to their call for war against the north, the Masons set sail to the port city of Askandir to demolish the city lighthouse and set the Tunisian library ablaze. As Masons, the attackers must complete the following objectives. Objective 1, destroy the lighthouse. I don't think the lighthouse is in this picture. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate it. All right, number 2, take control of the bridge. Yeah, I don't see it in here. Maybe I'm wrong. I think this is the bridge, like way in the distance here. Okay, number 3, push over the city columns. Dismantle the astrolabes. The astrolabes are like these little statues that are like, they kind of look like, I don't know how, they kind of look like the map device in PoE or something. And there's a lot of them like scattered around that you got to destroy. And then you got to burn the library's bookshelves, which is it's kind of a fun objective. I tried to use the water jugs to put out the fires, but I kept fucking up because I kept throwing it on the shelves that were already decimated. So there's a little shield in like icon that appears on the bookshelves that you can douse with water. So I learned that. Yeah. Yeah, so I learned that after my chat informed me, because I kept bringing water jugs to the wrong fucking bookshelf. But yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like another enclosed room fight, and it's beautiful. I mean, everything in that map looks gorgeous. And then this map, dude, this is a Tdm Map Desert. I love the aesthetic of this map. I really like that nighttime desert oasis kind of feeling theme. This map was beautiful as well, and it's kind of like a, you know, quick death match that felt like you just kind of spawn, you get lucky, you spawn with horses. There's a ballista in the middle that everyone uses to destroy your fun on the horse. As soon as I get a horse, I just get ballisted in the face. At least that's what was happening to me a lot. But yeah, you gotta just have a chance to spawn with a horse or fight for one. And it's just like a team deathmatch. It's really fun. The battle on the outskirts of Baudwyn in the dark, cold night. After the fall of the bulwark, the Tunisians regroup for another assault, only to be greeted by the Mason Order's vengeful frontal force. Players will fight each other in the ruins with cab support, and a lone ballista is present in the middle. Yep. Taking control of this ballista will increase the odds of achieving victory. And, you know, I thought, like, oh, it's just a ballista, you know, people will miss. It's kind of like in TO, like in Line Spire. Sometimes you get hit by it, sometimes you don't. But this ballista is actually devastating, and its positioning, it makes this statement very true, in my opinion, based off of my play today. All right, in the Charge of Wardenglade. Okay, so this one wasn't put in the beta that happened today. So I'm really excited for this one, actually, because I'm wondering. I don't think every single person is going to spawn right away on a horse, because they only allow a maximum of 12, I think, on each side, and I think it's because of performance issues. If they do improve performance and allow everyone to be on a horse on this map, or they limit the number of players, I think it would be super fun to have every single person on a horse and see what it would be like. So I'm looking forward to this, and I also wish that in the beta they just included the Charge of Wardenglade, but just made everyone spawn with the horse, because I felt like I wasn't truly able to like test the horse out. I really wanted to see, you know, attacks and just the movement, but like when I was in a match, it just didn't. It felt kind of difficult to like just test the horse out and just play. Imagine the clip clopping if everyone had a horse. Oh yeah, dude, I forgot to say, the sound of the horses when they're running is pretty nice. It's like when you're on the horse, you don't really hear the clip clopping as much, which I wish you kind of did, but when you're on foot, I feel like the sound of the horses is a little bit more amplified. I don't know about you guys, but I felt that way. In the sound design in this game is pretty on point. I think it's been nice. All right, so now we're gonna go into, I guess, Alberfell changes and just other changes here. We fixed an exploit where the rock walls could be jumped over without knocking them down. Do they mean the... Oh, I see. So those walls that lead up to the monoliths that you have to push over? There was like a little, I don't know, you could like kind of hop over. I didn't know that I thought that was like kind of intended, but I mean, all you got to do is pick up the rocks like as if they were on the ground to destroy the rock wall, right? Yeah. Fixed an issue where accepting the Mason forward spawn would drop players off a small cliff. I had that happen too. I spawn and immediately take fall damage. Oh, okay, so it's after you spawn. Okay. Fix an issue where toppled stones would not replicate properly when joining mid-match. Okay. Fix an issue where the tower would still explode if defenders successfully defended it. No, I kind of liked that. They're getting rid of that? I liked how it still exploded, because it's like a existential crisis where you're like, well, it still exploded, but we won. I don't know. I didn't know that this was a bug. I thought it was intended by the developers just to be a little cheeky. Fix an issue where switching to Agatha during the warm-up timer sequence would sometimes place the player underwater. Fix an issue where pigs and peasants could still be interacted with after the first objective. Yeah, people would have peasants until the end of the game and carry them, right? Fix an issue where throwing pigs and peasants in the water near the main boat would count as a successful capture. Oh, they're still meant to be thrown on the main boat though, right? I thought it was hilarious seeing people drag pigs to the end of the map. Yeah, I thought it was funny too, and there's no point in really fixing it, but I guess they should fix it, right? Okay, I don't think I've really experienced this, but I could see that because when you huck the pig into the boat, there's kind of a wide radius that the pig lands in the boat with. It's like, so I guess that radius was just too large and it maybe extended to the water. It's the Jesus peasant. We saw that one match. Yeah. The Jesus peasant that made it all the way to the end. Alright, Coxwell, dude. Oh yeah. These changes are gonna make them Coxwells, baby. Objective balance changes. Alright, I can't wait to read this. 40 players. Okay, so for 40 players, stage 1, Central Village Gate will have 750 HP. Side Village Gates will have 500. 8 out of 11 houses will need to be burned. Okay, so they reduce the number of houses instead of every single one. Defender's respawn time, 15 seconds. Do we know what it was before? This seems a little long, so I think they just want people to burn the village faster. I don't know if this is, or maybe slower. I don't know the previous stats, so I can't really say what they're doing here. But if they're reducing the number of houses that need to be burned, my thinking is that they want people to get through this objective faster. But honestly, I didn't think that the objective was really too hard to get. I think I've only defended it like 1 or 2 times ever, but maybe it's just for 40 man. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a lot of HP, huh? Alright, stage 2, defender's respawn time is 10 seconds. Okay, stage 3, decrease the amount of gold needed for attackers to collect. Defender's respawn time is 12 seconds. Yeah, so they're making it easier to get to the last stage, maybe. Which is weird, because I always thought the defense of Coxwell was super hard, actually. Decrease the amount of gold needed for attackers to collect. Defender's respawn time is 12 seconds. It looks like they made it even easier for attackers. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Smoke. Coxwell was already super unbalanced and favored for attackers. Yeah, we'll keep reading and see if that last point gets stronger or something. Defenders get so screwed in this game. Yeah, dude. It was really hard to tell what these numbers mean. We don't know what it was previously. Exactly, dude. Stage 5, objective time 4 minutes. There are 80 tickets. Okay, this is 40 man though. So we'll read on to 64 man, but maybe in 40 man it played way differently. Like, who knows? I don't have the data. I don't have the previous data, but it sounds like they're making it for 40 man way easier to attack. And the history of Coxwell all started with 120 tickets, right? And then they reduced it to 100 tickets. And now it's 80 tickets. So there's only 80 deaths in order to lose and become peasants and die, right? That's what they mean by tickets, I assume. 64 players. All right. Village gates will all have 1,000 HP. 10 out of the 11 houses will need to be burned. A respawn time of 13 seconds for defenders. The history of Coxwell started when I first hit puberty. Oh boy. The Coxwell jokes are gonna come in full heat when it comes back, dude. I'm telling you. So, stage 2, defender's respawn time is 8 seconds. Okay. So we spawn 2 seconds faster on defense in 64 man. Stage 3, defender's respawn time 10 seconds. Stage 4, defender's respawn time 10 seconds. And 120 tickets for stage 5. Okay. So it used to be 100, so now I think it's 120 again. And there's 5 minutes for the objective, and it looks like they didn't change the amount of gold to collect. Man, it took them that long to like redo Coxwell. These don't seem like too many changes, man. And like it took them forever, and they had to pull the whole map out of rotation, dude, to do it. Like these are just, you know, input values that could be changed and played with. But I don't know. I'm sure that they had to do a lot of analysis and figuring out of what would be better numbers than previously, but I still don't think it warranted taking the map out of the whole game. So they took Coxwell out of 60-man forward NQ just to change defender respawn time and tickets. Yep. I guess so, dude. Fixed an exploit where engineers could scale up a tree during the last objective to avoid combat. Oh shit. Okay, so that's how people were hiding. I never knew how people were doing this. Well, that's funny, dude. Fix an exploit where Agathians could avoid the out of combat prompt on spawn during the last objective. So engineers were actually important to win a map? Damn it. Well, it was an exploit, but they're still important. They're still important. All right, due to player feedback, we have implemented a number of changes to Coxwell to balance to ensure an enjoyable experience. These changes primarily focus on giving defenders tools to better defend. For 64-man mode, we've made it easier for defenders. Okay. For the 40-player mode, the last objective also now scales so that attackers have to kill less defenders for objective completion. Okay, so maybe there's like more ballistas on the wall or something. These changes primarily, I mean, or actually no, they would have been up here if there's like more tools. I guess the tools is kind of just the respawn timer, I guess. I don't know, I'm looking for something cooler with Coxwell, maybe. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm happy the map is coming back. Maybe it will be much better, who knows? Maybe that's all it needed. The exploits will definitely make a lot more sense for why they took it out. Just imagine if everyone knew that exploit. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that is why they took it out. You're right, dude. What up, Flame Angel? You look incredibly adorable and handsome today. Much love. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I guess that's right. And, you know, if there's an exploit. But would it really take that long to fix that exploit? I guess maybe their developers were probably focused on getting the Steam release done, and they probably didn't have enough manpower to take care of the Coxwell issues. So I could see why they took it out now. Fallmeyer adjusted the out of combat zone progression during the last objective for smoother transition. Okay. Fix an issue where the warm-up cinematic and first spawns wouldn't trigger. Okay. Fighting Pit. Fixed an issue where players could survive falling into the spike pits. No way, dude. Has that happened to anyone? That's never happened to me. Fix a spawn point that would allow players to fire projectiles in the air in FFA. Oh, from the air. Okay. Excuse me, I got dyslexic there. Okay, Great Hall. Fix an issue where the lighting was unintentionally dark. Okay. Who cares about Great Hall here? Lion Spire. Fix an issue where ragdoll collisions on the beach would result in splashes. I've actually seen this. If you're like kind of in the back towards the boats more and somebody tackles you, you'll hear that splash. Tournament grounds. Fix an issue where shooting an arrow from one end to the map to the other would cause the player to disconnect from the match. Okay. Team balance. Team auto balance adjustments. Auto balance now begins at the start of the match. Oh, nice. Before the match starts, there can be a difference of 2 players when switching teams. Auto balance will not happen during a map's last objective stage. Thank God. Auto balance has been noted as a frustration for players. Yes, it has. Part of the solution is to make sure that the team switching after the game begins is minimal, and that players aren't unexpectedly switched to the opposite team during the last part of the match. We are looking at further solutions to address additional feedback we've received from Team Balance as well. Nice. Alright, we got customization here. New customization, armor. Mason / Agatha Peasant Caps. Exclusive community reward item. Tunisian Archer Acadian armor with leather, light armor, and male shirt variants. Let's go. I apologize for teabagging. Dude, I see it as a sign of respect. If you teabag me, it means I pissed you off enough for you to notice me. So, come at me, you know? I don't mind being teabagged at all. Give me them teabags. All right, we got Tunisian Helmets with light battle and royal variants. Tunisian heavy helmets with Cavalier, light Cavalier, elite ass warming, okay, Aswarren, and masked Aswarren variants. Okay. Sick. So we just have, like, you know, the basic armor layout for the Tunisians. Dagger. Kanjar with Damascus ivory and jeweled variants. I read this like it was Spanish. but it's Middle Eastern, right? Please mask your asswear. Falcon, the Shamshir with aged, embellished, and royal variants. Carabella with weathered, decorated, and gold variants. Okay, yeah. So we got some badass Falcon skins incoming. A bunch of words Skadii will mispronounce. Yeah, dude. Shields. Tunisian small shield, worn Sipar in Sipar variants. Tunisian medium shield. The shields look great, dude. The shields looked so cool that I'm like, damn, they need to work on the Mason and Agatha shields again, because they look like shit compared to the Tunisians. Steam timed exclusive items. Unlock for free. We saw that in the trailer. You just got to go and follow the Steam Chivalry 2 community, I believe. And they're coming at a later date for people like me who have already been playing the game and have been a loyal fan. We don't get them for a while. They're going to make us buy the Steam version in order to get them. No, but they'll come at a later date for people. It's just a limited time thing. Hopefully in a month or two, we'll see those being available for unlock for ourselves, because they look sick. Yeah, these 3 helmets are great. Steam-timed exclusive item, free to Civ 1 owners. Backwards compatible. Actually, oh, I do have Civ 1. So maybe this is compatible and will be put into the Epic Game Store somehow if you link your accounts. I don't know how. The voice, the haughty counselor, the jolly chef, the grizzled sentinel, the professional assassin. The voices all seem pretty cool. All the emotes and stuff seemed pretty similar to what we already have, but the yell, the was ridiculous. All right, here we go, boys. Combat. Bonus damage UI. Bonus damage is now displayed on screen next to the damage dealt. Okay, nice. Bonus damage UI can be toggled off in the options menu. Disarm. Increased cooldown. Okay. Increased dashing cooldown after being disarmed by 3.3 seconds. So if you're disarmed, you can't just dash away and survive anymore, I guess, or it's like a 0.3 second cooldown. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, and after being disarmed and just seeing people dash away and run is kind of jarring. It's kind of weird. I think I agree with this change. Increased jab cooldown after being disarmed by 3.3 seconds. Okay. Increased cooldown to start another attack after being disarmed by 0.2 seconds. Okay. This will allow easier follow-up combo attacks after disarming an opponent. There is an expectation at higher levels of play that the effort and skill involved in reducing stamina to 0 should be rewarded a free hit. Okay, currently players have a chance to avoid by dodging out. For disarming rules, we are now making it easier to land a free hit as a reward. I think that's good. I think this is good. Horn. Overheal changes. The Horn special item will now overheal only a certain amount based on a given player's class. So this is what we were talking about during the beta. Archers is now 10 HP, Vanguard 15, Footman 20. And 20 HP was the previous standard value. Okay. So Footman is like the standard. And Knight is 25. Until now, Overheal has given a standard bonus health value regardless of class. Currently, the survivability of Archers and Vanguards is slightly higher than expected for certain weapon types, while Knights are a bit weaker. Changing the Overheal values brings the vision more in line. We will continue to monitor this balance change going forward. Sprint charges. Sprint charge attacks turn rate limit has been tightened from 65 to 70%. Wow, that's like a very small change, but maybe it'll make a difference. I think this is okay. You have to be more, you know, you'll have to be more vigilant and landing your charges. I use the sprint charge attack, or the tackle. Oh, I know, I use the tackle. The charge attack. Okay, this is actually really nice. I felt like a lot of times people would get me in crazy attacks. Like, they'll charge, and I'll be like almost behind them, and they'll be able to wing all the way around to get me. But 5% difference doesn't seem like it'll affect that much. Sprint tackle's turn rate has been tightened from 70 to 72. Fixed an exploit where players could jump during the beginning of the sprint charge. Okay. These changes are to allow dashes to be more reliable when dodging sprint attack. Okay. It was noted by the community testers that sprint charge attacks have a very wide turn limit and can be difficult to read or react to. These changes here aim to make this a bit more consistent. Please note that the higher percentage above means that the angle is reduced. Yep. Turn cap changes. Turning while inputting special attacks and stab attacks made tighter. Higher number equals tighter turn cap for the following weapons. Okay. Special attacks. Increased default special attack cap from 47.5 to 50. Increased one-handed special attack turn cap from 47.5 to 55. Increased two-handed special attack turn cap from 47.5 to 60. Wow. This is like the biggest turn cap change ever. So it'll be even tighter for my longsword turn cap. I noticed that actually in the patch. I wonder if that was... I swear, dude, I did a special with my longsword, dude, and like I really felt the difference because the guy just literally walked to the side and I couldn't hit him. So I think for longswords, this is gonna suck. But for other weapons, maybe it's more necessary, you know. These special attacks adjustments are for all weapons, not just the ones listed below. Okay. Yeah, this is probably the biggest combat change we've seen yet. Right here. Greatsword. Increased stab turn cap. Okay. Heavy stab. Highlander sword. Messer. Two-handed spear. Increased heavy slash. Okay, so they're increasing turn caps to everything. So I heard that like the spear was getting nerfed, but it looks like everything is getting nerfed in terms of turn cap. One-handed spear. Lance. Okay. It was noted by community members that some weapons, mostly longer weapons, had a very wide stab compared to others. This has been refined to be more consistent and reactable. Okay. These nerfs are for Durag. New siege equipment added. Bombards must be loaded with cannonballs found on the map. Increase the height of the parry box slightly to make blocking jump attacks more reliable, dude. This was totally for me, bro. They tuned into my stream and saw me doing some Skadii jump attacks, dude. Increase collision area of hanging traps. Constructibles now cause weapons to thwack upon collision. Okay. Added... Wait, what does this mean? Constructibles now cause weapons to thwack. So if I'm hitting like a spike trap, it goes like thunk instead of going whooshing, like all the way through it. Is it now like hitting a piece of wood like in real life? I'm not sure what this means exactly. And constructibles being like walls, spike traps. I just feel like you can just swing through. Added class limit to engineers. Okay, interesting. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. I wonder what it is. There exists an exploit where jumping with some long weapons at certain angles allowed for hits through blocking. Okay. We have adjusted the height of the parry box and will continue to monitor it for further exploits. You're telling me I was exploiting, dude? I was doing some sick-ass jump stabs, dude. We have increased the appeal of engineers by reviewing their place with community testers, with players being able to hit players behind walls and being able to destroy multiple walls easily, we have adjusted constructible collisions overall to thwack on hit. This means that your attack will hit constructibles and finish instead of cleaving, giving an overall buff to using them to make sure that engineers will stay balanced. We have added a class limit of 12.5%. A team of 32 can have 4 per team. Okay. 4 is still pretty good, but I mean, I never even saw this as that much of a problem. But I think they did this because now you can thwack the constructibles, right? So now that you can thwack, that the constructibles are thwacked, it's out of whack. You know what I mean? Like if you had, they're even cheaper now. Engineers are even more cheap, right? I think that's okay. I'm not a fan of having class limits, especially for people that really love their class. Not being able to play it every time kind of sucks. Like if I couldn't play Knight every time, I'd kind of get annoyed. So I kind of feel for these people, but I don't know. I think the thwacking is actually a really good change because the barriers didn't really feel like barriers. I mean, everyone would just go up and just heavy swing all of them down in like 2 hits anyways. And they were buffed on top of that. You know what I mean? Engineer weapons do suck really hard. Even the sledgehammer. Yeah. Compared to the other weapons. Yeah. I wish we could have a whole team of archers. Would be kind of fun. Matchmaking, new queue. Okay, so this is huge. There's a whole, so they are putting this into its own queue. The Tunisian Invasion. It's not going to be mixed with the old 64-man, I guess. In order to maintain performance integrity of the match due to the addition of horses, Tunisian Invasion has been capped to 52 players. Dude, yeah, I mean, no one's going to play 64-man, at least until they optimize this. Because, I mean, when this comes out, everyone's going to play the Tunisian Invasion. In the 64-man queue is going to be empty, at least for the first weeks. I think that this was done because they couldn't maybe optimize soon enough. And, you know, it might be smart for them to do this because if it's not really well optimized, there could be a lot of problems with the Steam release, right? So, I mean, it's not ideal, but I think it's probably the right decision by them to put it in its own queue, unfortunately. I would rather them just kick players out during a 64-man matchmaking, because they leave anyways. It should just kick you out at random. Or because I want it to be in the you know, rotation. You know, I don't want to have to play it every time, right? They put new maps in 40-man queue. Oh, so maybe everyone's going to be playing the 40-man queue version? Hold on, let's continue here. New maps, only Baldwin, Askandir, and Desert. Okay, so that's the Tunisian Invasion. 64-player mixed modes. New maps will not be present in this queue. The following team objective maps will appear in this order to be more in line narratively. Oh, Linespire, Galencourt, Aberfell. Okay. Okay, so they're changing the order that the maps appear. 40-player mixed modes. New maps included. The following TO maps will appear in this order to be more in line with the narrative as well. Same as 64-man. Okay. So we all got to just play 40-man, I guess. FFA, move to server browser. Arena duels. Rename duels queue to 1v1 arena. Okay. Server browser. Console players will now be able to access the servers listed in the server browser, which are separate from matchmaking servers under Play Standalone servers. Okay. This includes dual yard servers, previously only allowed for PC players. The dual servers are an excellent way in testing your skills in a more impromptu environment. Dual servers have specific community-driven rules. Do not randomly attack. Yeah. Okay, everyone knows this. You're a scrub. If you don't, game modes. Last team standing. Combat zones have been made smaller for all maps. Okay. In Last Team Standing, we noticed situations where final players would attempt to run from encounters and thereby extend the amount of time between rounds. This ultimately gave a less enjoyable experience for those waiting to respawn for the next round. Okay. Performance and crash fixes. Xbox One, PS4 optimizations were made to blood decals. Okay, we just got some optimizations to characters and everything in Xbox and PS4. We're always looking to improve the player experience. This update comes with some optimization targets targeting consoles. Great. Alright, sweet. We made it through the entire thing, dude. Overall, my experience today with the new patch was pretty positive. I think the biggest things that I noticed were that the horse is kind of janky. They definitely have some fixing to do, but overall, I had a blast, dude. And I'm really disappointed that we're not going to see these maps being integrated into the regular 64-man play. It kind of sucks. I'm going to be honest. It's going to split, but with Steam being there and the huge influx of new players, I don't think the player base is going to be split to split. So if you get, you know, into a mode that you want to play, and everyone will definitely be playing the Tunisian stuff, but to have it as a separate queue away from 64, man, I think is my biggest gripe that's going to be coming with this with the patch. I mean, like, I really hope that they concentrate on fixing that first, because I think optimization is always a priority after a big patch like this, especially with the new horses. But I mean, I really want it to be in the same queue. I wish it wasn't separated, but you know, that's such is life, right? What's in the roadmap? Okay, so the reinforced update. I don't think they have much information besides here. Major quality of life improvements. Here, I'll maybe zoom in. Can I zoom in? I'll zoom in here on this. So in the next update, if you're excited and you want to know about the next update after 2.5, they're putting in the cross-party platforms, a new weapon, major quality of life improvements, and that's all we have about 2.6, and we don't even know when it's coming. All right. Well, that is the patch, dude. We have officially gone over everything and played it. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think? Let me know.